The holidays are rapidly approaching, and with them come all those familiar traditions surrounding family and feasting. With those feasts come a familiar feeling, postprandial somnolence. You might not know the term, but you are probably familiar with that sluggish, drowsy feeling that comes after eating. Maybe you call it a food coma. I'm familiar with it. I love overeating and feeling sleepy afterwards. So, in order to understand postprandial somnolence, we'll discuss what causes it, what the body does during that downtime, and how to modify the behaviors should we wish to avoid that sleepy feeling after a meal. So let's look at the causes. About that tired feeling, there's a prevailing notion of what causes it, and that's the idea that as we eat, blood goes to the digestive system, goes to the stomach, the intestines, and less blood circulation is available for the brain and the muscles. That's a popular notion. It's put forward by Chaturvedi and others in a 2021 article in the Bangladesh Journal of Medical Sciences titled Postprandial Somnolence and Its Awareness Among Medical Undergraduates. Another theory is just the bloating, just the fullness of having a large meal, as I'll illustrate with this big 8-pound box of beans. If I have this sitting in me, I'm probably not doing a lot of jumping and running around exercise. So those are some physical changes. Some competing theories say, no, it's more chemical. Peters, in a 2016 article in UC San Diego Health, an article titled Good Mood Foods, says that when we eat protein-rich foods, we get the amino acid tryptophan entering the brain, and this causes a pleasurable drowsiness caused by that chemical. Mandel, in an article in 2022 in Healthline titled Food Coma, says when we eat carbohydrates with those proteins, then serotonin is produced. Serotonin is a powerful mood stabilizing neurotransmitter. Both these chemicals, when they're flowing into our circulation, we get the good positive feeling after we eat. So these are some natural causes. So the theories differ. They all say it is a normal thing that's going on. And so one might imagine that there are naturally benefits to this process. Going back to Chaturvedi, an obvious thing, rest is needed. During rest time, we rebuild our tissues, we build new cells, we repair. And since we just ate, we have the fuel available to do so. Going back to Mandel, an article in 2022 in Healthline titled Food Coma, she says that it's a balance. When we have these chemicals going that we are full, as that gets digested and we have hunger again, now acetylcholine, another neurotransmitter, is released. And we have wakefulness. The body is saying, let's go find more food. Thinking of what the body is encouraged to do through these processes makes me think of evolutionary links. Gallagher and Yu in 2014, an article in the journal Worm titled Falling Asleep After a Big Meal, says that that evolutionary link goes back to hunter-gatherer times. Basically, we ate, we had a successful hunt or trip gathering, find food, let's stop and reflect of what we did so we can do those behaviors again to find food again. They also say humans aren't the only animals that do this. As I'll illustrate with this fun photo of or picture of rats going through a maze. They find the cheese, they rest, reflect, how did I find that cheese? I want to find it again. So those are the advantages, but it's not always convenient to feel sleepy after a midday meal. So if there's a desire to avoid that feeling, how can we modify our behaviors to do so? Well, as you might imagine, what we eat matters. Edinburgh and others in a 2017 article in the Journal of Nutrition Bulletin titled Concordant and Divergent Strategies to Maximize Metabolism, Glucose and Lipid Metabolism, say that a balance of carbohydrates, proteins, and fat can moderate spikes in blood glucose, stay balanced and not have the swings in mood. Going back to Gallagher and Yu, hormonal. If we stop before we're full, as I'll illustrate with this loaf of pumpkin bread that pardon me, this loaf of pumpkin bread that I baked just for this speech. If I just have a small slice rather than having as much as I want, if I don't slather it with warm butter and pour on warm syrup, which I might, but if I don't, then I probably won't have the same sluggishness afterwards. And of course, there are other behaviors that we can do. From Chaco in 2017 in the Journal of Applied Physiology, an article titled "A Time for Exercise," moderate exercise after eating. About 30 minutes after the meal, if we just go for a brisk walk, then we probably won't have that sluggish feeling. And going back to Mandel's article, you could probably guess sleep. If we have a good night's sleep the night before, probably not feeling sluggish after that meal. So these are the behaviors that we can modify if we want to avoid that sleepy feeling after a meal. Now, let's wrap it up. Postprandial somnolence is the technical term for a food coma. There are different theories as to the causes, but the theories do agree that this is a natural phenomenon. Since it's natural, there may very well be natural benefits to it. However, that feeling of sluggishness after a meal may be inconvenient. So there are things that you can do to alleviate that feeling, if you wish. Now, the next time that you feel sluggish after a meal, I hope that you might reflect on something you learned today and have a new appreciation for postprandial somnolence. Thank you.